Welcome to another session of Learn with Veer Sagar. Today I'm going to talk about a subject which is normally not spoken, not because it's taboo, but because it's not very exciting. Last week I met a friend of mine. He and I go back a long way. We worked together in a company. Later on, and in that company he was my go-to man. Later on, he joined a different company in the industry. We stayed in the same industry and we kept connected. And he asked me this question. He said, Veer, tell me, how do you manage to meet senior people, chairmen, MDs, as well as junior people like janitors, etc., and talk to them with the same comfort and ease? How do you switch off and on? And that set me thinking. I don't switch off and on. That's my natural style. You see, I have a disadvantage as compared to most of my colleagues in the industry. I'm not an IIM. I'm not an MBA. I'm not US educated. So I have to learn the hard way. So I'm forever learning. And to me, since I have not done these courses, I'm not aware of what happens in different situations and how to behave. So I have to find that out for myself the hard way. So I'm always in a learning mode. So I approach everybody, right, as a student. So I approach with a lot of humility. I want to approach this person because I want to learn something from that person. The first thing I learned about this is that you cannot get a person comfortable and talk to you if you create an intimidating presence. Right? Then he or she goes into a shell. So you've got to have a presence which is similar or which makes the other person comfortable. So when I meet the CEO of a bank, right, I go with a tie and a jacket. When I meet somebody else in the US, I go with half-sleeve shirt. And when I meet rickshaw pullers, right, I go with pant and shirt, and I sit on their stool and drink their tea with them in the glass. So, and I go to their place. I do not say, oh my God, this is so dirty, I don't want to go here, go through all these open drains. But because if I called him to my office or to my hotel where I am staying, he probably would come and he would feel totally out of place and he or she would not be able to talk. It's true whether you're dealing with your employees, whether you're dealing with customers. So the first thing I learned is when you meet somebody, you have to make that person feel comfortable. And humility does not necessarily mean just in behavior, but in your appearance, everything. The whole package is very important. So I always make a point to go to if I want to learn something, if I want to ask something, I always make it a point to go to the place where the other person is. There, he or she is comfortable. She's the king or queen there. So you talk to them and then they will open up. Don't go there as a boss, as a senior person, or as a big shot and say, here I have come, tell me what you know. They will not tell you. They will clap up. So I learned this because since I go to learn, to understand from the person, my first real is I go with humility. I go with humility. I go to where the person is. I do not call when I go to visit when I was selling cycle tires and I went to meet rickshaw owners. I didn't go to them and say, Saab, calling you to the hotel. I go to where they sit, where he has an afternoon siesta under the tree on a cot. I sit with him, have tea with him, and make him feel that I'm one of them. So he opens up. Similarly, when I want to get some feedback from my employees, I go to their place of work where they are working. I try and go around tea time because A, you do not disturb them, B, they're a little more relaxed and they're having samosas or tea or something, and you join them and chat about this and that in the beginning. And once you feel that they are at home and comfortable and are opening up to talk to you, then you can ask whatever you want to ask and they will give you an answer. Similarly, when I go and see MDs, I go with tie and jacket and I go to their office. So first thing I learned is humility, and the second thing I found very useful is to go to where they feel comfortable. Go to their place of work. So that when you go to their place of work, you talk to them and then do not show off. When you go to learn, go to learn. Don't go to teach. So when you go and speak to a person, senior, junior, doesn't matter, and show off how much you know, interrupt that person, then you will find that that person is not opening up. You sit down and listen. And more you listen, the better the person feels, right? And he feels more involved, and then he opens up. Because for a person to teach you, to open up, he or she must trust you. He must trust you. As a teacher, we trust the students. Right? As the students, we trust the teacher. So that trust must come. And this is what I learned. That if I want to learn, and I want to learn all the time, and I want to learn from anybody who's capable of teaching me, and I think there's lots and lots of people down there in the open who know much, much more than I do of a particular thing. So I go there to soak up, to learn. And I go with humility, and that's what carries me. I do have knowledge, I study, I do homework, I prepare. I'm not landing up there and saying, okay, tell me what you know. I do homework, I prepare, so that I also know how much of that to absorb, how much of it to keep, and how much of it to discard. So what I learned, the way I learned is go to the person you want to meet him or her, go as a student, go with humility, go to learn, and you will come back a richer, better person. So with that, it was Veer Sagar saying, thank you very much, till we meet again next time. Goodbye.